really don't know what we're going to find out here. It truly is kind of a lost canoe route. And so this is where the real adventure begins.
Beginning our journey in Restoule Provincial Park, we would venture downstream to Lennon Lake. Crossing over to the Memesagamesing system through a series of portages, we would eventually face the unknown of the Memesagamesing River, long abandoned by canoeists. Following its course to the mighty French River, we would paddle upriver before eventually meeting with the Restoule outlet and retracing our route upstream. After an easy paddle down the Restoule, the real adventure began as we now faced the abandoned portages exiting Lennon Lake.
So we just portaged from Lennon Lake to Portage Creek. Trail was all right. There was a lot of blowdowns. It's hard to find at times. Actually, at the end, we kind of just said, we're done with this, and we bushwhacked 50 meters to the creek, which was actually flowing with lots of water. So we paddled up the creek for a bit. We did see where the trail came in on the creek, but it was littered with blowdowns in that section too, so it was a little harder to find. But right now we're about to try to portage to Portage Lake, and as we can see right here, we found some evidence that people have come through and actually cleared this route. The portage behind me looks pretty wide and recently cleared, so hopefully the rest of the route is fairly easy going in terms of route finding. So it's raining out right now, but it's not going to dampen our spirits because we successfully made it to Memesagamesing Lake from the Restoule River. First portage really didn't exist. It was there, but it petered out in a couple sections and we had to figure our way through a bunch of down trees. The other two portages, they were there, they were nice and cut. You can see evidence of an old M&R sign back when it was maintained route on the end of this portage here. We're on the shores of Memesagamesing Lake now. Paddle down and find a campsite for the night. So we're on Playfair Lake right now. And we're about to start our downward journey on the Memesagamesing River, which flows out towards the French River. We have about 16 kilometers of river travel ahead of us today before we get to the French, and there's about 7 to 8 portages that are supposedly scattered along this river route, but they've kind of fell into disuse when the M&R stopped maintaining this canoe route. So we're going to go for a little adventure here. This is where the fun really starts, and this is where the really adventurous part of our journey begins.
Okay, so we just portaged from Playfair Lake onto the Memesagamesing River. We found an old M&R trail that we followed and just pushed through. And we're about to start the 15, 16 kilometer journey down the river, which is all unknown. So, let's go.
Paddling the breathtaking Memesagamesing River, we were soon engulfed in a truly wild landscape. The scenery seemingly changed at every bend, and the placid waters were only interrupted by several cascades and rapids. While the majority of portages no longer existed, short, simple bushwhacks quickly had us around the obstacle and back on the river.
So we just ran the last set on the Memesagamesing River. Nice, easy class 1. You can see over here on the tree, there's the old portage sign.
At long last, we had reached the French River. Pressing on, we quickly set about finding a perfect island campsite to unwind and celebrate the accomplishments of the day. Canoeing the Upper French, we were immersed in a mesmerizing land steeped in history. The first river in Canada to achieve designation as Canadian Heritage River, the French was an important route for First Nations, French explorers, fur traders, and voyageurs. Today, this network of rocky islands, windswept pines, and crystal clear waters is forever protected as a provincial park for paddlers and boaters alike to enjoy. We would soon leave the region behind, but we were leaving with the satisfaction that our exploratory journey to retrace a long-abandoned canoe route had been a resounding success.